So good morning, everyone. If you'd like to take a seat, we'll be starting soon. Just a couple of quick announcements. If you need assistance, please ask one of the staff personnel wearing a College of Menominee badge. First aid is available at the hotel registration desk in the main foyer. Guests with small children may view the ceremony in the Eagle Room, left of the ballroom. The entire program will be streamed there. Our program this morning is both a celebration and a heartfelt occasion. As a courtesy to those who are being honored, please take a moment to turn off your cell phone ringer. Thank you, and we will be starting soon. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of colors by the veterans of the Menominee Nation Color Guard and flag song by Scud Nation. Wawan Scud Nation. We also respectfully thank the color guard members, veterans of Menominee Nation Eagle Staff, Justin Fisher, U.S. Marine Corps, retired. Menominee Nation flag, Bruce Wilbur, U.S. Army. U.S. flag, Bruce Barwick, U.S. Army, Navy, retired. Veteran of Menominee Nation flag, Mackie Amonikut, U.S. Marine Corps. U.S. Army flag, Teddy Sinchin, U.S. Army. U.S. Navy flag, Jay Sinchin, U.S. Army. U.S. Marine Corps flag, Brooke DeMarch. U.S. Air Force flag, Myrna Warrington. POW MIA flag, Dennis Canote, U.S. Navy. Bohannon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the College of Menominee Nation's 2025 Commencement Ceremony. Please rise. You're already standing, so good job.
Center, huh? Wow.
Hoso Meep, good morning. I am Dr. Lucy Fensel, Dean of Academic Success, and your MC. Please be seated. Brian Kolakowski has called our gathering to order. Wawanan. It is our custom to begin graduation ceremonies with an invocation to the Creator. It is the Menominee tradition to remain seated while designated speaker stands to offer a prayer to the Creator. You may continue sitting. The college has invited Otechia Luke Bisa, lead immersion teacher with the Language and Culture Department of the Menominee Indian Tribe.
Okay, Posomoni Wia, Kotachin Takam, Bisan Asrasian, Nikia Hayawetino, Vicky Young, Shikno, Matt Gary Bisa, Menominee Taum, Shik Yotsriki, Namus, Menominee Kihi. A little bit about me, Mashikwasan Totam. So my name is Otachia. Some of you know my mom, most of you know my dad. So I live here on the Menominee Reservation, and Nikukaki no Moawak, we oxpos Menominee weakness to it. So I work with our language teachers. Now, how can I know? Name what Pamapa make is Minikium, Natnamampus, Nuachkaki, Tiana Yope. Well, I took a sim case, Cochemanicta, a yacht, Natna Yot Siu, Mashikta, Haya, Masosuk, Masapitu, Patsikanita, and then a Matno, Kiki Towak. So I was given some Natnamo and humbled to speak here when there are a couple of my uncles, older brothers here, grandpas that could be asked to do this. So, no, how can Mas no come shikta mawakum not mukono atakun manita matnapus. Mas no treat the pomekun we know mawani kis mawan chasing it to a omas pas otapin a makayum ne puakan hayamasini hikan kis catch no kita mako masni. We know ni kana puch ni chanox tanachin kana puch Q kanapa mawak wiakin is wakiame kana puch no kiwa kotatness. Met se kako ki se kimako mas weko at tamachinini yoksitua e yope. Mishikta natamo ekuna kom nichianak kispin onichiana wawan kamamani winu chihuahua totano emak nanoan pas mahno namiko pas mahno na watching in that case is eight to it winu ni he yos. Hamishikta kom kaki no moikok in its case mahno kaki no homowato kom. Mishik met se kako ki was eight to it met se otashi kiwin awe catch awe kiom no kiwin. Not the moikun we know it name Mishik menikun we skew pamata sewen miskorzewen so cut winna nini tatua a hiom Q kaki no homoea Mishik or patsikini kakina makako mas mamachi tawakihi kachawa kiom. Shikta warwanin kis menikia yom menikesika posmawa chasenea. Met se whisky kako ki se kimaka kuache hayametrum yapimaka menatoak and skoskosiwak kachawak e yom. Mishikta kom se makanesa in it case pinawak kum kakiwahon no mas asnamakun o manitono what pas mahno ituat so katwina kaskani tamuk mia konomakun mamache kakum shikwatna stawatna. Okay, tamakun so cut nakoto yapimaka kin. Mishikta kom poswawa ko masni. Met se kako kesa se to up pos mahno se kimaka yon match kaki no motiwe komiko. Na hau nachtemwekun wenua upni. Mishik mamek tehni o tano e makin in wawan kinu mawani kis catch nachtemowawa kakumwapa tamak kana poch kis kanapa mawak onichianan has wasita tua ayaki wiachikan awani we taco sip pas mahno ani kakina makako and net wayo sia he hiope. Mishik tasakanani na we hot now yo met netnamau chik metiko skimoka haimaka. Mahno tapana makon yom kiki tuanan mashik wanet chikis mamia tochi kastua nich Menominee nich pamata sewa kumas mashik tapena tamakon yom kiki tuanan na halka natanwe makinak net.
Wiwana Notetia for those beautiful words. Before we continue our program, I would like to introduce the college's Board of Trustees. Our board is composed of members of the Menominee Indian Tribe of Wisconsin. Their role is to provide oversight to the executive leadership of the college. Mr. Gary Frechette currently serves as chairman of the College of Menominee Nation Board of Trustees. He was appointed to the board in 2016 and has served in this capacity for 9 years. For the past 8 years, he has held the position of chairman, providing continuous leadership and guidance to the institution. Mr. Frechette is here on stage and will represent the board later this morning as we confer degrees and diplomas to our students. Mr. Frechette, please stand and be recognized. Here to witness these ceremonies are other members of the College Board of Trustees. Those who could be with us today are seated in the audience to my right. Our trustees are Mrs. Sarah Labarge, the college's vice chairperson and the director of strategic partnerships at the Native Forward Scholars Fund. Ms. Shannon Chapman, director of education for the Menominee Indian Tribe of Wisconsin. Mr. Michael Delabrew, director of the Menominee Tribal Clinic's IT department. Mrs. Crystal Chapman Chevalier is Chief Executive Officer for Wolf River Development Company. Ms. Tina Turtelot, who also serves as faculty at Haskell Nations University Tribal Business Management. Mr. Justin Lepsher, Lead Institutional Advisor at Key Bank. Wiwanan to the Board of Trustees. Our college came into existence through the efforts of tribal legislators who saw a need for higher education and acted to establish CMN. For 32 years, the tribal college they envisioned has persisted and prospered as a chartered entity of the Menominee people. The thousands of CMN students we honor today, both past and present, are grateful for your leadership. One of the college's longtime supporters and a dear friend of the is the chairman of the Menominee Tribal Legislature. This morning, he brings us greetings from the tribe. Please join me in welcoming Pakachika, Mr. Joey Wanape, Chairman, Menominee Tribal Legislature.
Also, Nacho Menominee. Aha, we got some Menominees in the crowd. All right. Waste you what? You know, before I get started with a few comments here, I just want to express the love that I see. I see some of our ladies are wearing their traditional dresses. Many of our relatives are wearing their kine mekonan. Many of our relatives are wearing their nekinan, their medallions. And that brings so much pride to me personally to see our applique patterns, our dresses, our medallions, our beadwork, our quill work, our sashes, our feathers, all being proudly displayed at this moment in your life. So match Waiwan and Katanani Mua. So today we gather to celebrate an extraordinary milestone, the graduation of the next generation of Menominee leaders, scholars, and change makers. Let's not forget that this moment is not just about individual achievement. It is a reflection of the strength of our people, the wisdom of our ancestors, and the resilience that has carried our nation forward through generation after generation. Graduates, you have walked a path of learning that has required dedication, perseverance, and sacrifice. You have studied late into the night. You probably drank one too many Red Bulls or bubblers on those late night studies. You have overcome challenges and remained steadfast in your commitment to education. Today, as you stand on the threshold of new beginnings, remember that you do not stand alone. You carry with you teachings of our elders, the love of your family, and the hopes of our people. As Menominee people, we understand the importance of knowledge, not just for ourselves, but for the benefit of all. Our ancestors have taught us that wisdom must be shared and that leadership is rooted in service. Wherever your next step takes you in your careers, whether it be further education or service to your community, always remember that your knowledge is a gift, and how you use it will shape the future of our nation. We've prayed many years to have this opportunity to be the positive change. Now that the opportunity is here for you, seize it with love, commitment, and passion for your people. Like the great Menominee forest that stands tall, our people thrive when we remain rooted in our values, yet flexible in the face of change. Take pride in your accomplishments, but continue to grow, to adapt, to learn, and to build upon the foundation you have laid. More than ever, the world needs your vision, your talents, and your unwavering spirit. Continue to be positive change our people deserve. To all our grandmothers, grandfathers, mothers, fathers, aunties and uncles, brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews and children, we say match waiwanan katanan mua. We thank each and every one of you for all of your support and guidance you have given to our graduates. Let's have a big round of applause for all of our families and all of our relatives. In closing here this morning, as you leave this college and step into your future, know that your nation stands alongside you with pride. You are the next storytellers, the next healers, the next leaders, and the next protectors of all that our ancestors entrusted to us. Carry your traditions with honor, walk forward with courage, and never forget where you come from and who you are. You are Menominee. Congratulations to the College of Menominee Nation graduates. May your journey be guided by wisdom, strength, and the enduring spirit of our Menominee ancestors in Waiwanan.
It is a privilege to introduce today's student speaker, Joshua Shawano-Kasich. He is from the Menominee Indian Reservation and currently works for the Shawano Police Department as a patrolman with a combined 9.5 years of service across the Shawano and Menominee Tribal Police Departments. In his professional career, he has been honored with life-saving awards, commendation letters for going above and beyond his normal job duties, and loves playing golf and basketball. He enjoys spending time with his family, which includes his wife Lorenda, 3 children, Lindea, Lainey, and Lene. He is very passionate about working hard to achieve the things he wants in life, and he is instilling this in his children today. Please welcome Joshua Shano-Kasich.
So, good morning, everyone, faculty, fellow graduates, and the families who supported us along the way. It's truly an honor to stand here as the student speaker for the 2025 CMN Commencement Ceremony. My time at CMN has been an incredible journey, shaped not only by education I received, but by the people who made it meaningful and who positively impacted me along the way. The faculty here didn't just teach. They took the time to connect, they cared about lives beyond the classroom, and I'm especially grateful for those who supported me personally, and Walensky. They asked me about my family, understood my work commitments, and helped me balance the many roles I juggle, such as a full-time student, police officer, husband, father, coach, and many more. Whether it was missing a class or a work shift, or bringing my kids along, they always understood my commitments outside of the school. Along with the support from the staff, there were many scholarships that were available to me, which I am forever grateful for from a financial aspect. These generous scholarships helped me remain in school and graduate debt-free. This kind of support, personally and financially, made all the difference and made the difference in me wanting to speak today, to show my gratitude for the programs here at CMN. When I first received the email asking if I was willing to be the student speaker, I was very hesitant, as I had never spoken to this many people ever. And I knew I'd be really nervous, which I am. And while I stand here, I still wonder why I agreed to do this. Looking out at you guys. Just kidding. Anyways, when I received the email, I immediately told my wife about the opportunity, and she told me right away that I should do it. I then told my mom and my sister-in-law about the opportunity, and they had as well told me I should do it. After considering the opportunity, I ultimately agreed to the student speaker and realized what a great honor this was. And that would be a great way to share my educational journey, as my journey was far from normal, if there is such a thing. I know everyone's educational journey is unique, and everyone here has had to make sacrifices to get through their schooling. And I applaud every single one of you. I'd like to share my educational journey and hope it can be an example of perseverance, overcoming failure, and providing an example of what dedication, hard work, and a little maturing can do. I attended Shawano High School and never viewed myself as a good student. I never thought about the future and rarely did my schoolwork. I had one goal in mind at that time, and that was to play basketball. I did the bare minimum to obtain passing grades that would allow me to play basketball. In my junior year of high school, I became a starter on the varsity basketball team and thought I was the man. However, I neglected my schoolwork and only focused on basketball, which resulted in me ending the first quarter with 3 Fs in 3 different classes. I recall that being one of the worst weeks of my young life, as I was yelled at by my high school basketball coach, my 2 assistant coaches, and of course, as one would probably guess, my mom. On top of that, I had my phone and car taken away for a month, and my mom had to drive me to school every day. Can you imagine how embarrassing that was? Luckily for me, though, I had great teachers who gave me a chance to try and improve my grades before my first basketball game of the season. I was given the opportunity to write 4 papers for 4 different classes to get my grades up to passing, and that would allow me to play basketball. After this situation, I never let my grades drop that low. I put more effort into school, but only just enough effort to keep my grades at or above passing so I could play basketball. Basketball was still my focus and sole reason for keeping my grades up. I remember that junior year speaking to my school counselor, who was also my assistant basketball coach, and he asked me about college. I recall indicating that the main goal was not to go to college and obtain a quality education. It was to go to play college basketball. Thinking back on this conversation, I realized I had a lot of maturing to do. Ultimately, at the end of my high school academic career, I finished with a below average 2.7 GPA, which was hardly enough for some of the colleges I was interested in. Fortunately, I was accepted to Viterbo University and started in the fall of 2009. At the time, I wasn't really thinking about academics when considering a college and was more focused on finding the best place to play basketball at. Viterbo stood out because of the basketball team dynamics, the chance for a partial scholarship, and honestly, because it was far from the reservation, which I thought the distance would help me focus more on the game. However, once classes started, I absolutely struggled. I didn't have strong study habits. I skipped classes, and I was more interested in sleeping in than showing up. On top of that, I was one of the few players working a work-study job as I needed the money and tuition wasn't cheap attending a private school. My mom worked multiple jobs to help cover costs, doing everything she could to keep me in school. Trying to balance basketball, school, and work quickly became overwhelming. My grades slipped. I was only there for basketball and eventually I quit the team. By the end of the first semester, I was placed on academic probation and was told to turn things around or I would not be coming back. I came into my second semester determined to turn things around. Without the pressure of basketball, I was off to a strong start, but I quickly realized how much I missed the game. I rejoined the team, went back to practices and workouts, all while still trying to juggle classes and my job. At first, it felt good to be back on the court, but the stress slowly crept back in. Practices, games, coursework, and work hours piled up, and soon my grades began to slip again. I started skipping class more and felt very overwhelmed. I didn't want to be at school anymore. Oddly, after choosing this specific school to be far away from home, I just wanted to go home. By the end of the semester, I was back in the same place, struggling to keep my GPA up. My coach told me I would need to take summer classes to raise my GPA or I would not be allowed to return in the fall. So contrary to my coach's wishes, I made the decision to go home for the summer. I got a job, took a step back, and had some important conversations, especially with my mom. She told me to focus on working for the summer, taking some time to think, and figure out what I really wanted to do next. Ultimately, I did not return to Viterbo. I found myself chasing a dream I thought would shape my future, which was playing college basketball. I soon took a job at the casino, and for a while, the thrill of earning a paycheck and the comfort of being surrounded by family and friends felt like enough. In the fall of 2010, I decided to give school another try and enroll at CMN. I believe that being home without the added pressure of athletics might help me focus on my studies. But once again, I found myself slipping. I skipped classes, fell behind, and eventually stopped showing up altogether. Looking back, I now realize that I was not ready, not mentally, not emotionally, and certainly not with the right mindset. My motivation for attending college had been rooted more in the love of the game than in a commitment to education. And without basketball, I had no clear purpose in the classroom. At that time, making money felt more tangible and more rewarding than pursuing a degree. But with time comes clarity. I now see that my earlier decisions were shaped by a lack of maturity and perspective. I didn't yet understand the true value of education or the doors it could open. I had to grow through those missteps. I had to learn the hard way that success just isn't about talent or passion. It's also about readiness, resilience, and responsibility. In 2015, I was hired as a patrolman with the Menominee Tribal Police Department, and soon after attended the police academy. It was my first classroom experience in over 5 years, and to my surprise, I did well. I completed the academy with a 3.1 GPA, rekindling a sense of confidence and enjoyment in learning that I had not felt in a long time. That spark continued to grow. In 2018, I was selected to attend Drug Recognition Expert School, which is an intensive and mentally demanding program in law enforcement. The training pushed me daily through accelerated coursework and rigorous testing, all requiring an 80% or higher to pass. I excelled, scoring no less than 86% on any exam and earning a 94% on the 8-hour final assessment. Through that experience, I discovered a deeper sense of discipline and maturity. Education was no longer a burden. It had a meaningful reason behind it. I had grown, not just an officer, but as a student committed to learning. In 2019, my then fiance, now my wife, was in law school when she encouraged me to consider going back to school. At first, I was hesitant, but I took a leap and enrolled, setting a personal goal that once felt impossible, to earn a 4.0 GPA. I was 29 years old, returning to college, not as an athlete chasing a dream, but as a determined student with a purpose. This time, the drive was different. I was not doing this solely for myself. I was doing this for my family. I wanted to obtain my degree and show my daughters what commitments and perseverance look like. I pictured them watching me walk across the stage thinking, I want to do that someday. My education became more than just a personal achievement. It also became a legacy for my children to believe in. With that mindset, I approached my return to school at CMN with a level of focus and determination I had never known before. During the spring 2020 semester at CMN, I committed fully, not just passing, but to excelling. For the first time in my academic life, I was taking detailed notes, organizing my assignments in a planner, and even color coding my schedule. I barely recognized myself. However, these weren't just study habits, they were signs of real growth and maturity. I finished that semester with the 4.0 GPA, a goal I once thought was impossible. But rather than stopping there, I set a new one, not only to earn my bachelor's degree in business administration, but to maintain that 4.0 GPA. And I am proud to say I did not fail myself and achieve that goal. And life didn't slow down to make it easy. I started a new job at the Shawano Police Department, bought a home, moved my wife from Madison to Shawano, and welcomed another child into our growing family. The demands were constant, but so was my commitment. And despite every obstacle, I stayed the course. My commitment, however, does not end here at CMN, though. As I stand here today, I am proud to state that I have just completed my first semester of my master's program in business administration at UW Parkside. I have no doubt that I will meet this new goal of obtaining my MBA regardless of any obstacles that may come my way. Every obstacle, every failure, every moment where you thought about giving up, you always have the power to turn it around. I know this because I've lived it. My journey was full of false starts, missed opportunities, and hard lessons. But eventually, I chose to stop running from my failures and start learning from them. I chose to show up, to commit, and to believe in something bigger than the setbacks behind me. And I'm sure many of you, my fellow graduates, have experienced moments like this too, moments of doubt, disappointment, or uncertainty. Maybe, like me, you questioned if you were cut out for this, but here you are. You showed up for yourself, you pushed through, you kept going, and today you made it to this moment. So before anything else, let me say this clearly. I see you, I respect you, and I sincerely congratulate you. Just being here today at this commencement is proof that you had the courage to keep going, even when it wasn't easy. And that perseverance, more than anything, is what defines success. Last but not certainly but not least, I want to take a moment to thank the people who stood by me throughout this journey. Those who believed in me even when I struggled to believe in myself. To my high school coach, Cornell. You saw something in me when I was just a skinny 8th grader at a basketball camp. You told me I would go to college and find success, and those words struck with me. You coached with intensity, but it was always rooted in care. You reminded me every day how hard my mom worked to make sure I was successful. You never stopped checking in and encouraging me, even when through my setbacks. In a way, you became a father figure to me. Today, I hope I made you proud. Thank you for believing in me from the beginning. To my incredible wife, Lorenda, none of this would have been possible without you. You pushed me to go back to school when the finish line felt impossibly far. You carried so much, raising our kids, managing the household, supporting me through late night deadlines, and dealing with my stress, all while cheering me on. You've been my editor, my motivator, and my rock. I love you, and I'm so grateful for every sacrifice you've made so I could be here today. And to my mom, you've been my foundation. Every sacrifice you made, every lesson you taught about hard work, perseverance, and love shaped the man I am today. Even when I stumbled and lost my way, you never gave up on me. Your strength, patience, and unwavering support have been a guiding light. I can only hope to be for my children what you've been for me. I love you and I thank you, Mom. You are truly a blessing. Thank you all, and again, congratulations to the 2025 CMN graduates. We did it.
Luann and Joshua, sorry, Luann and Joshua for your good words. I am honored to introduce our 2025 commencement speaker, Ernie Stevens Jr., Chairman of the Indian Gaming Association. Chairman Stevens is an enrolled member of the Oneida Nation in Wisconsin. He is a prominent leader in the Indian gaming industry. He serves as the chairman and national spokesperson for the Indian Gaming Association in Washington, D.C. With an impressive tenure spanning over 24 years, Chairman Stevens is currently beginning his 13th two-year term. Throughout his distinguished career, Chairman Stevens has devoted himself to advocating for the positive impacts of Indian gaming, not only on tribal communities, but also on neighboring areas. He and his wife Cheryl have been married for 43 years. Together, they have 5 adult children and 20 grandchildren. Please help me welcome Chairman Stevens.
Hello and good morning. Thank you. I've spoken anywhere from Mexico to Canada to, I've spoken several times in Europe and all over Native America. But this is truly one of the greatest honors of my life to stand before you, especially these graduates today. I wanted to say that it's a true honor to be here to offer my congratulations and bear witness to your success in taking these next steps to what I know is a bright future. I've had the privilege of serving the Indian Gaming Association for 25 years. Our organization celebrates our 40th anniversary this year. 40 years ago, approximately 80 tribal governments used Indian gaming to generate revenue to help meet the basic needs of their communities. Back then, I wasn't quite aware of the importance of Indian gaming or education or the ties between them two. Many of these early Indian gaming operations took place in temporary pop-up buildings or local tribal community gyms. At home in Oneida, I remember frustration as a young athlete wanted to work out in our gym and play basketball. The gym was always full of tables, chairs, and collar stands and getting ready for tonight's evening bingo games. I wanted to play basketball. Back then, 2 moms and community leaders explained to me that bingo was providing our nation with an economy that kept the lights on in our gym. It kept the doors open to our nursing home and provided much needed health and dental care for our community members. That part I didn't understand either. From these humble means, Indian gaming has responsibly grown to provide a steady source of revenue for 250 tribes in 29 states. In 2024, Indian gaming generated $49.1 billion in direct and related revenue. Indian gaming is first and foremost about job creation. Our industry delivered 700,000 jobs for rural American families last year, direct and indirect jobs. These jobs provide many in Indian country with their first opportunity to work at home on their reservation. And half of those 700,000 jobs are non-Indians who are an important part of our Indian gaming family. We keep driving the economy through Indian gaming, and we're very, very good at that, not just for Native America, but for the world around us. But as I mentioned, Indian gaming is also about education. At Oneida, the Oneida Turtle School, which is an architectural wonder, having been built in the shape of one of our clans and houses many Oneida cultural symbols, legends, and traditions that our children see and experience on a daily basis. It's really important it's a K-8 program in the Turtle School. But I want you also to know that my wife and I are both college graduates and are proud parents of 5 children who are all college graduates. Our youngest is Dr. Lois Stevens, and she has a PhD from the University of Kansas. But Dr. Lois, way before she was an associate professor at University of Wisconsin, Green Bay, she went from Head Start or daycare Head Start, K-8, and high school and Haskell, all the way through before she set foot in a non-tribal educational system was at University of Kansas. So she proved that, to me, she proved that Indian education is as good as anybody else's because she very fluidly stepped into the next tier of her education. You know, I was kind of hoping she'd come home to Oneida, but she went to Kansas. She said, "Don't worry, Dad. It's only 5 more years, and I need a new car." So, but Dr. Lois is doing well, and so you know, our tribe during our growing years purchased 2 Catholic diocese facilities that once served as a seminary and a nunnery. Today, the facility houses the Oneida Nation High School, our tribal government headquarters, our social service agencies, and our fitness center. What I'm trying to tell you that throughout Indian country, Indian gaming has enabled tribal governments to make significant investments in education. These educational investments are paying dividends today. Each of you are living proof of that. I always want to say this: doctors, lawyers, and Indian chiefs. That's who we are. That's what we've created. And what I said in the past 40 years ago, we had to hire those people to come in to do this. And today, our experts are right here in Indian country, and you guys are proof of that. Indian gaming is also helping to preserve and foster Native culture. Past federal policies of forced assimilation and relocation sought to suppress Native language, culture, and religion. Today, Indian gaming is working to honor the sacrifices of our ancestors to hold on to our ways of life by promoting and elevating Native language, culture, and identity. Unfortunately, these efforts to support education and culture are under attack. And as chairman of the Indian Gaming Association, I spent a lot of time in Washington, D.C. to educate decision makers about the importance of our industry and hold them to account. Just a couple of months ago, during my morning walk in the nation's capital, I ran into 3 or 4 groups of tribal college students, staff, and tribal leaders. And this was shortly after the administration announced drastic cuts to tribal colleges and universities. I assured them that we are working on this, but I also made it clear that we are those groups of people from tribal college, those students, those teachers, and those administrators and tribal leaders were the most important lobbyists for this fight. And we were stronger because of their presence. Very emotional, very historic. And when I went back to my room that night, I really felt comfortable and really felt strong. And I felt that the ability to keep fighting this fight, what we're up against, because these people were at our side. And even though we are focused on Indian gaming, our larger mission is to protect tribal sovereignty and to hold this government accountable to Indian country. And that's the most important part of this. So Indian education is a centerpiece of the government's obligations. I spent this week in DC with tribal leaders and large groups of tribal organizations, including the National Indian Education Association and the American Indian Higher Education Consortium. They are on the front line. You folks are on the front line in Washington, DC. We spent this last week, meeting with senators, representatives, and administrative officials working to restore funding for Indian education and push back against the extreme cuts that they have proposed. As Native people, these attacks are not new. Over centuries, our ancestors faced unthinkable challenges, trail of tears, forced assimilation, boarding schools, termination, taking of our lands and resources, and out-and-out genocide. Our ancestors taught us that Indian country can and will persevere. There are no limitations to what can be done when we have a common purpose. In our lifetimes, we've seen the resilience of Indian country. During my time in Indian Gaming Association, Indian country not only has survived, but strived through the Great Recession and a pandemic that you guys will tell your grandchildren about. Tribal leaders and advocates have never backed away, but instead have persisted and endured. Now I know it's an understatement to say that the United States is going through a stress test right now. We know that the next 4 years will be challenging. I will count on all of you and the folks that I stand with up here on this stage to fight this fight, and we will be strong in doing so. So, but 4 years is a heartbeat for Indian country. Indian country measures in terms of generations. So while I acknowledge the many challenges ahead, I stand by my opening remarks that your success today fills my heart with encouragement. I'm inspired to be able to stand before you today because you strengthen me, you strengthen us, and you strengthen Indian country overall. Your future is indeed bright because of the hard work that you put in over these past years. And because of that, resilience runs through your veins. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. Don't let them think that because you're an educated person that you just showed up and picked up a piece of paper. Let them know the heartache. Let them know the stress, like Joshua talked about. The family. It wasn't easy for any of you folks, and you guys are victorious today. So I want to close just a couple of real quick stories. One, my father, Ernie Stevens Sr., he passed away just about a year ago, but he was key in helping the Menominee restoration back in the day. And Ada Deer, the late Ada Deer, was key in helping him with the American Policy Review Commission study, which is a historic study that still applies to this day. It's one of the most important documents ever written in Indian history. Together, we found a way. Together, we found our way. So take me back to an old grandma's story. Now, grandma's been gone for about 10 years, but she always told the story about this Menominee lady. And back in the day, I could remember her name. I apologize, I don't. But these girls were getting ready to run from Haskell. And where do you run from in Haskell if you're from Oneida, Wisconsin? And this Menominee lady begged her not to run with the rest of those girls. And that lady said, she told my grandma, if you stay, that when I get my, I think she said annuity money, I think. When I get my annuity, I'll take you to the canteen and I'll buy you woman things. So my grandma said, whatever that meant, I don't know. But that lady looked out for her and that kept her in school and kept her from running. So, I'll close with this. What I wanted to mention is my good friend Kanesa. Many of you may know him. He passed away very young. He was a school teacher here in this community, but my wife and I, this is my wife over here in the white blouse with the wampum beads on over there. She doesn't want me to introduce her. So I got to wind up this speech because my wife is like Darth Vader. She could choke me out from the crowd. But Kanesa and my wife and I and my two little boys, Vice Chairman Brandon Stevens and Ernie Stevens III, all we had was each other. Kanesa hit me for 20 bucks. I didn't even know him a week, you know? But he had a car and he would take us to the grocery store. And he particularly looked out for my wife who had, like you say, more hardships, Joshua. It's easy for us guys. The women got to do all that and take care of the kids. And they say us men try to do stuff. We try, but they do it. And so we couldn't done it. Kanesa and I couldn't survive without Cheryl. And so he was a shining light for us. And I wanted to just thank him in the spirit world as he was a good brother to us. And I'll close with this. I have a $5,000 donation and a $2,500 donation to the Woodland Boys and Girls Club and to the College of the Menominee Nation. And I wanted to give those today in memory of Dr. Fowler. And Dr. Fowler asked me many, many years ago to help this college. And thank you. So the last time I talked to her, I apologize, I couldn't do more, but I did give a donation. And I'll continue to raise money for this college and for the Woodland Boys and Girls Club. But I told her I wish I could do more. I've been so busy. And she said, Ernie, you've done everything I ever asked you to do. And that's one of the, I'll never stop hearing those words in my heart. She was truly one of the most important mentors of my life. So I want to do that. And I want to just say this, is that leadership, it's not just the tribal council, even though they are the most important leaders in our times. It's not just the gaming commission or the CEO. We all have leadership responsibilities starting at a very young age. So today, I thank all the graduates for your leadership. You guys are the leaders of today. Thank you very much.
Good morning, graduates and guests. Let's give another round of applause for Ernie. The Menominee people have always been known for their spirit of generosity. It is in that spirit that the College of Menominee Nation takes a moment today to honor and express our heartfelt gratitude to someone who embodies these values. Chairman Stevens, the college honors you with this token of appreciation. Like our ancestors before us, you are one who shares with others. Your generosity and enduring support have uplifted our community time and again. You have championed the mission of the College of the Menominee Nation every year through your steadfast involvement in CMN's annual benefit golf outing. Your dedication extends far beyond our campus. Through the spirit of sovereignty, you have supported our families during the holiday season, sponsored local softball and basketball teams, and contributed to countless fundraisers that benefit our youth and students. No good deed goes unnoticed. Your kindness, leadership, and unwavering commitment continue to make a difference in the lives of many. We are honored to call you a friend of the college and of the Menominee people with deep respect and gratitude, Moana.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will now prepare for the awarding of the degrees. Graduates, before awarding your degrees, I would like to express that we at the college know that an educational degree is not an independent endeavor. It takes family members, friends, and sometimes an entire community to aid and guide students to their commencement day. So today, graduates, I invite you to lend a hand to your family and friends who are here today and who have helped you on your educational journey. Members of the College of Menominee Nation Board of Trustees, I present the prospective candidates for graduation and successful completion of their respective degree programs. We are now at that moment you have awaited. Pamapame, Richard Ashkishkam will instruct the graduating class members and introduce them as they receive their degrees and diplomas in their field of study.
You may notice some of the graduates have gold cords. Those are to honor the academic honors that they have achieved during their tenure here at the College of Menominee Nation. So begin to read the names. The Bachelor of Arts in Education, Miranda Colmo. Bachelor of Science, Business Administration, Carla Ashton. Joshua John David. Jody Skinner. Elementary and middle school education, Karina Charles. Skylar Davis.
Congratulations. I love you.
Kelsey K. Kitson.
Careful.
Chloe Knopf. Cassie Joe Russell. Kayla Stefanski. Sustainable Agriculture. Jose Maria Muller. Associate of Arts and Sciences, Business Administration, Jennifer L. Adams. Joshua James Bischoff Senior. Okinuki Allison Cloud Farm.
Congratulations.
Lacey L. Dixon.
Congratulations. Yeah, right.
Sky Rebecca Gonzalez. Ian Hill.
Congratulations. That's beautiful. I like that.
Graduate. Tina Marie Roscoe. Continuing on with Business Administration, Tabitha Thunderglove. Digital Media, Cassandra Bissonette. Emerald Jules Ochoa. Early childhood education, Celine L. Martin. Jennifer Evelyn Reed Rudy. Simon Alana Ricker. David Wakinuki, Susan Rose Dexter. Omaha Kukwin, Don Marie Gilbert. Humanities, Virginia Ontario. Liberal Studies, Social Science, Valerie Dockstader. Natural Resources, Jeffrey Bealey Jr. Public Administration, Serene Dion. Annette R. Peters. CNC Machinist, Joseph B. Boston.
You made your dress up. Oh, yeah.
Electricity, Gabriel Clarkson.
Fish Jr. Application, Uppercuts, the second. Peter J. Cosby. Noah S. Congratulations. Emilio Alex Menchaca.
Congrats, man. Congrats.
Wendell J. Canas Jr. Chad Ryder Wilder Jr. Alexander Salinas Powers.
Congratulations.
Benjamin A. Wapu. Thomas John Enoch Jr. Noah J. Joseph.
Congratulations, my friend.
Chairman, before we get caught up, I'm wondering if I could pin this on your vest. It's the badge of honor that we give to our leaders. They tell me that we put the staff in the ground and we fight for sovereignty. I don't put these in there instead.
All right, will the graduates please rise? By the powers vested in me by the Menominee people, Menominee Tribal Legislature, and by the College of Menominee Nations Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you individually the degree for which you have been recommended with all the rights and privileges it holds. Graduates, you may now move your tassels to the left. Oh, Poso Nacho Matnamanewa, Natanue Makina, Kamashik, Maoni Wea, Kiosiope, Makianaqua, Mamachitau Nawiswan, Chris Caldwell, Mokaman Nawiswan, and I serve as the president at the College of Menominee Nation. I just wanted to greet all of my fellow Menominee, my relatives, the little one out there, everyone here today. Welcome to the College of Menominee Nation 2025 Commencement Ceremony. It's an honor to have you all with us today to witness and be a part of our college's heart work. Waiwanan to our veterans, and especially our friends from Puyallup Nation, our language warriors and knowledge keepers for being here to help us with protocol. To Ernie, thank you for your words. It's an honor to know you and to see how deeply you care for our tribal nations, and especially our tribal colleges and universities, and continue to do all that's asked of you here at the College of Menominee Nation. So Waiwanan. To Josh Shawna-Kasich, thank you for sharing your inspiring words and setting an example for your fellow graduates. And to our CMN Board of Directors, faculty, and staff, Waiwanan for walking with our students every step of the way. To family, friends, and our community of supporters, Waiwanan for walking with them as well. And I'd like to thank our tribal chairman, Pakachaka Joey Iwanape, for his leadership And also at this time, if there's any other elected officials who have joined us today, I'd like to ask that you stand and be recognized. Wanan, for your leadership in our communities, and thank you for being with us here today. So CMN 2025 graduates, congratulations. Today is a celebration, a day to honor the courage, perseverance, and determination that brought each of you to this moment. Whether you are a first-generation student, a non-traditional student, or a brand new student who made a bold leap into higher education, your journey matters. There's a value in each one of your stories, and now even more so as you add your higher education degree to those stories. The value of a higher education degree is not found in any single piece of paper, although your diplomas are a pretty good representation right now, and I do recommend that you frame it and hang it in someplace special. So, but no, the value of a higher education degree is found within you. It is represented by the profound change that occurred from the time you enrolled at CMN until this very moment. Every assignment, whether written or verbal, every team project or experiential learning opportunity was a challenge for you to develop. Each challenge was a small chip away at the old you to reveal the new you. And this was hard-fought change, I'm sure you will all agree, because you not only took care of your school obligations, but you also had to juggle responsibilities with family, friends, work, community, and 100 other obligations. And there were hardships and joyous occasions along the way, times when tears felt closer and easier than completing the assignment, but you did it, and it changed you. And even if you haven't fully processed that change yet, there will be a time, maybe in the next day or two, or maybe years from now, you'll look back and be able to draw from the lessons learned. You'll understand that you are now better equipped with discipline, critical thinking, communication skills, and most importantly, resilience. And that's the end of my speech, I guess. I do have one last request though in closing. Can I ask all of our audience members today, if you are a graduate, one of the 1,300 plus alumni of the College of Menominee Nation, can you raise your hand? Please, you too, graduates. So as our leaders mentioned before, this work is individual, but it's also a community work. And so you join the College of Menominee Nation alumni, our growing ranks. And all that I ask is that you continue to check back in. Don't be a stranger. Always know that you have a home at the College of Menominee Nation. So with that, CMN 2025 graduates, Naha Weski what Maoni Wea. Good job, everyone. And that.
Rowan and Dr. Caldwell. I am pleased to invite Audra Castiona to join me on the stage. Sorry if I'm destroying your name. We are pleased to announce that CMN's Faculty Member of the Year is Audra. Audra completed her bachelor's degree at the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point and her master's degree at the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. She has held math faculty positions at Rasmussen College, Northeast Wisconsin Technical College, Marian University, and Lakeland University prior to coming to CMN. When Audra was asked about her teaching philosophy, she replied, "I believe in the beauty of mathematics that surrounds us, and the power of numbers to shape our everyday lives. My goal is to help all students appreciate and understand math by fostering curiosity, using songs and analogies to build strong, relatable connections to the material, and inspiring them to grow, learn, and strive for their best. Please help me congratulate the 2025 CMN Faculty Member of the Year, Audra Kessler. Okay, and before we leave, we have one more person to honor, and if Chairperson Frechette would please join me at the podium.
Before we leave, on behalf of the Seaman Board of Trustees, we would like to recognize and honor Dr. Chris Caldwell, a distinguished scholar who has completed the highest level of academic achievement in the field of education. He recently earned his PhD in Environment and Resources through the Nelson Institute for Environmental Studies at UW-Madison. Dr. Caldwell's doctoral research focused on Indigenous sustainability practices and knowledge studies, further advancing the dialogue between traditional ecological knowledge and contemporary environmental challenges. Dr. Caldwell is a proud Seaman alumnus and has led the institution since 2020. He graduated from the Menominee Indian High School. His academic journey continued with an associate degree in sustainable development from the College of Menominee Nation. He earned a bachelor's degree in natural resources from the University of Wisconsin-Madison and a master's degree in environmental science and policy from the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay. Caldwell. We all know how important family support is, and none of this would have been possible without the love and support of his wife, Tony, and his two daughters, Brooke and Trinity. Please stand and be recognized. Congratulations.
Wawanan Chief Academic Officer Sanapa and Chairman Frechette. Graduates, on behalf of the College of Menominee Nation, congratulations. Today's attendees are invited to the commencement reception at the main campus immediately following the ceremony. Please rise as Scud Nation sings the honor song while we conclude today's commencement ceremony. The color guard will now lead the recessional.